Hey everyone, it's Tom with Central Coast Kayaks and Pro Kayak Fishing, and today we're going to check out the Hoodoo 105, the Impulse 105 with paddle drive. So we're going to start with the front and move our way to the back. Now, I've personally taken this boat out on the water and it performs really well. I hope you guys might like it. So from the front of the boat, a couple things you're going to notice that are different than other boats is it has more of a square nose to it with the handle. And the hull is kind of unique. It almost has a tri-hull on it, similar to other popular boats out on the market. So we can show you what the hull looks like. So you can see how they have these channels down here, so it moves really fast, doesn't pull up a lot of drag. It's very stable. You've got your front hatch, really big, really wide. It has two clips that closes it here on either side. Easily access. The hatch itself is molded into the boat. So if you want to use this as a storage wall for wet gear, or if you want to keep something dry, it works fairly well. And there's also a scupper plug, which allows the water to drain out, located right here. So this is a molded in Tankwell with a cover on it, essentially. So there's where you drain the water out. The lid seals pretty well. I will say you do get a little bit of splashing water when you flip the boat, and we did that on purpose. You do get a little water in here, so it's not completely dry. You have your mount for your drive unit or accessory track. And these are M6s, which is unique with many of the boats that we've seen, is it has these rectangular spacers that already have the molded in inserts. So you don't need to have a T-nut. You just need to go down to your hardware store, get some stainless steel screws, Allen screws, whatever works best for you for what your application is, and they're already in there, which is really nice. And they have these little plastic caps you can pop off if you want to put in a T-nut accessory, say from Yak Attack or Yak Gear, will fit nicely into the track. We also have accessory tracks here on either side of the boat. Since this is a fin drive, it uses the same drive as Hobie did. So they lost their patent. Their drive is a fin drive, as several other companies are doing the same thing. They give you a cassette blank in the middle that removes out. And something that's unique about them is they also have a pod. So this is the pod that's removable that you can drop in the fin drive. They also make what they call a dual drive, where they have a pod that goes in for the prop drive. We don't have that just yet. That is coming soon. So the fin drive drops in there really nicely. We'll get to the drive in just a little bit. They have two hatches just forward of the seat. These are great. When I was out on the lake, it was nice just to be able to throw in some tackle in here, some swim baits and hooks that was really easily accessible. And over this one, I just threw in some snacks and waters that I had good access to. Very easily accessible, and they have a nice gasket on there, so we had no water in here at all when we flipped them. You've got your scupper holes for drainage. You've got some standing area up here if you want to stand and cast. And it comes with the rod holder, by the way, which is a Railblazer product. So that goes onto either the removable plate here, or it can be put on a starport from Railblazer. Really handy, comes with it. Also comes with a steering handle. Since this is a fin drive, you're going to use the rudder as you pedal along, and this is on your left side, so it's a left-handed steering. So it's horizontal. So that'll just get put right in here with a screw, and you move left or right as needed. They have these removable plates here, so you can put whatever you want on here, such as the Railblazer mounting port, the base plate, then your rod holder. I did that, it works really well. It's close to hand when you're pedaling. When I'm paddling, I found it got in the way, so I didn't use the rod holder here when I was paddling with it. But it paddles really nice for a boat that's only 10.5 feet long. A few other things about this boat, it has an adjustable seat, which is a really neat feature. So this seat slides in the track and goes up and down. So what I discovered is that you have to unloosen or loosen, there we go, the screws in order to move the seat forward and back, as well as up or down. So in the high position, it's really comfortable, super high, but it felt a little tippy. So I definitely caution you on putting it in the high position to get started with. Feel comfortable in the low position first, and then move the seat up. We also had this powered with a Bixby trolling motor on the back. So that was another fun addition to our trip. Having it in the high position, not having to pedal, using the Bixby was a really nice option for us. As you move back here, you've got your Tankwell. Very generous size. Really big and wide. You can put your black pack in here, your Wilderness Systems crate, your milk crate, whatever you want to put back here. And it has these bungee buttons, so you can take this off, and it has good access. Plus, these are removable completely if you wanted to add something else like an ice chest or your favorite milk crate. It also has an accessory here, so if you want to put in, I put the Bixby battery back here, but you can also put Plano box, put that right over the top, so you can put this here, or you can put it behind the seat depending on how far you need this moved up. I'm rather short, so I had it pushed all the way forward. Comes with 2 rod holders on either side. They are angled outward. So most of them are angled outward. I prefer mine straight back. They give you an accessory port here, which is interesting if you want to put on a stabilizer. A lot of guys are putting stabilizers on their boats when they're adding motors to it. Not so much when they're paddling. But you can put in a third-party stabilizer, either Hobie or Spring Creek makes a great one. So options for you here. You have an access plate to get to your rudder lines, steering line, uphaul line. If you want to add like an anchor trolley or something else, so you can have access to the back. You've got your drain plug on the back right-hand side. So if you did take water in here, you can empty it out. And then you've got your rudder. And the rudder is kind of neat in that it is a pin rudder. So it goes on and off really easily. And you've got your steering cables here, your uphaul line here that's accessible on the right side. So the rudder comes up, but doesn't come up completely. So it comes up into almost a 180 from the very bottom all the way up here. So not all the way up, but for the most part, you're not going to drag the bottom with it. You're not going to catch kelp with it. Good steering on either side when I had it all set up. And then your grab handle back here. So when you're clearing this kayak, this is a great handle to grab this boat by with you and your buddy, or if you're putting it on your cart. Solid, wide, and padded, and even it's away from the rudder. So you can still carry this boat with the rudder on it. Some boats, the rudders get in the way when you're grabbing the back handle. So it was a really nice touch. So this fin drive is very recognizable for a lot of people in the kayaking community. This looks exactly like a Hobie drive. Well, it is. Hobie lost their patent on the original fin drive, and several companies have been taking advantage of that and basically copying it for their kayak. So the Hoodoo Impulse, both the 105, the 120, and the 135, has this as an option as a pedal drive. It's basically the exact same drive as the Hobie. So the way this works is you'll be pushing back and forth like a stair-step motion to see the fins move. I'm holding above the kayak, but it works underneath the water much like the fins of a penguin. This drive was patented back in the late 90s. It's been a big part of Hobie's success and a big part of the pedaling kayak movement. So these drives come stock from Hoodoo with this pod. This pod drops into the kayak and secured with these 3 latches, and then the drive itself drops in with the straight part of the fin facing forward. They have 2 pins, and it locks in there. And then you'll set the distance for the seat based on your leg length. You're pushing it once again like a stair-step motion. Now you can also set with the length is with these orange pieces here. If you push this in, you can move this forward depending if you're long-legged or short-legged. But you want to have them equal based on your leg length. So you have the same stroke going back and forth. This fin drive has replaceable parts you can order from Hoodoo. You can even get old Hobie parts to replace them as well. A couple other companies make the same fin drive. So if for some reason you want to throw a Hobie drive in here, you can do that. So you have an old Hobie drive or a Hobie drive MD180 with kick-up fins, you can do that as well. But the Impulse with fin drive is a great boat. For $15.99 entry price point, it's a great boat to get into kayak fishing if you like pedals. It's effective, a fast, efficient boat, and it's very, very stable. One of my favorite boats so far at 10.5 feet. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the YouTube subscribe button and like button.